This new report from the New York Fed shows what they call a remarkable rise in food insecurity, especially among those living paycheck to paycheck. And it's especially troubling because it impacts those with young children. Between late 2025 and early 2026, there was a sharp rise in households reporting that they had to skip meals, use food banks, and rely on SNAP benefits or dip into savings to cover their groceries, which are now 2.9% more expensive than a year ago.
In the U.S., over 13.8 million people already suffer from food insecurity. Right now, about 65% of the 200 food banks in the Feeding America network are seeing a greater demand for food assistance. Pastor Joshua Giles of Kingdom Embassy Church in Minneapolis has been warning of a coming food shortage for several years. He points to the biblical story of Joseph as an example of how the church should respond to the crisis while preparing to help others.
Fizzy drinks, salad and meat got to do with the war in Iran. The government is preparing for potential food disruption if the Strait of Hormuz is still closed by June. This is all to do with the supply of carbon dioxide, or CO2. It's widely used in the food and drink industry, from the humane slaughtering of pigs and chicken to keeping salad fresh for longer. The UK imports most of its CO2. It's mainly a byproduct from fertilizer production. Like countries all around the world, the UK government is growing anxious about events in the Gulf. It's drawing up contingency plans based on a number of scenarios. Could there be food shortages? Government sources have told the BBC there could be less choice on the shelves.
A report from the Labor Department warns of possible food shortages that could be caused by President Trump's immigration policy. It found that deportation efforts and restrictions on new migrants are combining to create a farm labor shortage. Without enough people to do the harvest, that increases the risk of supply shock-induced food shortages. The Secretary of Agriculture has suggested that Americans on Medicaid could fill many of the jobs left vacant by immigrants. The Labor Department suggests most Americans, though, are not willing to fill those jobs.
What's going on, everybody? You saw the clips. A lot of things are going on in the world right now as we speak, and this channel exists to get you ready. My name is Rolando Medeiros, and welcome to the Remnant Harvest. Why does this channel exist? We exist to prepare you to not experience or to reduce the anxiety of food security. There's another aspect of this channel that I want to share with you as to why we exist. Food shortages are one thing, but what if there was an implementation of a law that forbade you from buying or selling? What if there was a government that set up this law, this mark, to stop you from buying or selling if you don't take this said mark? Well, in the book of Revelation chapter 13, it talks about this. It talks about a time where this beast that will have authority. There are two beasts in Revelation 13. I'm not going to go into it super deep in this video, but there are two beasts. One of the beasts gets authority from the dragon to implement this mark, and whoever does not take the mark will not be allowed to buy or sell. Now think about that. Think about that. You eat 3 meals a day, maybe more. You like to snack. What happens when you can't buy or sell? Another reason why this channel exists is to prepare you not only to not accept the mark of the beast, and that's tied in with food. Why? Obviously, if you can't buy nor sell, how are you going to eat? You see, this problem of food existed all the way in the book of Genesis, all the way into Revelation. We see, for example, the pastor there talked about Joseph, how he prepared grain for Egypt and pretty much the world. He was the greatest food administrator that has ever lived. We see throughout the Bible famine, lots of famine. The story of Ruth. Why did she leave the house of bread? Because there was no bread. Jesus in Matthew 24, one of the things he talks about is there's going to be famines in various places. This channel exists because we want to warn you that Jesus is coming soon. But before that happens, there's going to be a pivotal event that will decide the fate of all mankind. It will decide your fate. Whether you take this mark and be lost, or stand firm on the foundation of the Bible. Stand firm on that solid rock, Jesus Christ. Revelation 14 talks about the three angels. We're going to be going through that as well, and how it ties into the remnant harvest, especially the third one. The third angel's message is so practical because the issue of buying or selling will be a great one for many people. Many of you are super comfortable going to Walmart, to Target, to Erewhon, Whole Foods, Sprouts. The list goes on and on. But are you prepared for the crisis that is coming? And I know, they've been talking about crisis for years now, these food shortages. Some of the clips that you saw earlier, some were from 2024, some 2023. There was one that was this year. But are you ready to sustain yourself and your family? Why the name Remnant Harvest? Again, the practicality of it. What are you going to do when you can't buy or sell? And the spiritual aspect. Are you going to lose your soul for a morsel of bread like Esau did? Is this mark going to be an Esau moment where you take this mark for a morsel of bread and lose eternal life? We want to see you on that sea of glass, as it says in Revelation. We want to see you with the saints. I want to be there. We want you to be there. So along with the prophetic, along with the physical preparation, which we'll be going through practical tips on how to start a garden, what to actually grow based on your area, inexpensive tips, no fluff, how to start your own fertilizer, what are you going to do when you can't buy or sell, the importance of stockpiling, the importance of the importance of end-time gardening, which is why the Remnant Harvest exists. Also, we'll be looking at prophetic insights to see how these food shortages and everything that's happening in the world, how it all connects together. Because it's easy to isolate this and that, but how does it come together in the context of prophecy and the Bible? We'll be going through prophetic insights, and we're going to look at parables from the garden, from the farm, and tie it into character development, tie it into bearing the fruit of the Spirit and the spiritual lessons we gain from being exposed to nature, being in the garden. Also, before we end here, I want to let you know that I am available for consultations. That's right, consultations. Whether you need a garden coach, whether you need a seasonal coach, all season, just being there with you. I offer online consultations over the phone, email correspondence, Zoom, whatever the case may be. If you're local, then I'll be glad to do a site visit for a small fee. Compared to what's coming, it's insignificant, and it will be a blessing to you to prepare you so you don't receive the mark of the beast. And so, if this is something that you like, if this is something that has piqued your interest, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be updated on more videos to come. Our hope and prayer is to see you on that sea of glass, to be with the saints in the city of God, to stand for holiness and righteousness, to be able to eat during that time, you and or your family, and those who need the help. Because when that time comes, I believe that there'll be those who will refuse to receive the mark of the beast because they understand that receiving this mark means total damnation. And so, join me. Welcome, family, to the Remnant Harvest. I'll see you in the garden.